Ahead and jump right on into the game. It's going to be Derelict Watcher Game 3 in a best of 7. Winter is going to be up 2-0 so far, so we will see what he can do from this point as we go into this map. Good lucks all around. Good luck, have fun. All the things. So, I mean, as I said, I really am curious this game if we're going to see something different from Triforks. I expect the same from Winter, to be quite honest.
If it's not broke, then don't fix it.
Yep. And Winter's done very well through this tournament so far. He hasn't dropped a single map, correct?
I don't believe so.
Yep.
But we do need to introduce these players.
Yep, as in the lower left-hand corner, we have our Red Zerg, who's been rolling his way through this tournament so far. But it has not been easy. His name is Winter.
And in the top right corner, being played by Winter in the Mind versus Mind, it seems like it is the Blue Terran Triforks. Yes.
Here we are.
Here we are. Game number 3, best of 7.
Derelict Watcher.
Yes. You know, I feel like if I were in Triforks' position right now, I feel like I'd be getting a little bit frustrated based on, you know, I feel like he's got to be feeling like he's been playing well to a certain extent, but then as soon as he gets hit by those Baneling mines, I just feel like he's got to be kicking himself, and then Winter at the same time is smirking to himself.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, and that's not been a one-off scenario. I mean, so many times that's happened.
And you see, like, as soon as it happens, he's like, no, I knew I should have done it, because he scans immediately following. You know, it's just a second too late. At
some points, he even scans right as he's getting hit also. So, I mean, he really need to see something different too. You know, honestly, without those losses, the trades would be a lot more efficient for him. Because honestly, when you trade Marines for Banelings, you're never winning. So far we're seeing similar things: refineries, barracks, expansions. So nothing.
Winter taking his base before his pool and sending a drone over to do the typical shenaniganry that he's been up to.
There's that word again.
It is.
That is a very popular. That's definitely our trademark word. Winter here is going to be having a drone on patrol. Likely when a Marine or something comes out here, he's going to be rallying it to that extractor.
Looks like Reaper is going to be the choice.
Reaper it is. I do love Game Hard. It's so nice seeing what's being produced out of a building. Orbital command incoming, as long as with the expansions and the drones. Pool coming down, gas going down, so we're going to see maybe a quick speedling.
Well, you know, when you get the that pool, or I'm sorry, the gas that late after pool, there's always potential for roach play from that. You know, he's not going to be able to get the gas sufficient enough to get the metabolic boost right away. So it's gonna take him a quick minute there. But we will see what he ends up deciding to do. Sometimes, you know, you just go for a later speed and get some of those minerals a little bit earlier on, so that you can get the economic advantage. Oh my goodness! It seems like he sensed what you were feeling.
This is exactly what I wanted to see. We've got you got a base in your base, Gallegation. And did he see it with that SCV?
He did indeed.
He saw some creep, so I mean, at that point, it could be anything. I mean, it could.
Well, no, it can't be anything besides it has to be a hatchery, and sure enough, he does notice it now. Let's see if he pulls anything else to deal with this.
Well, you can put down a hatchery, cancel, and put down an Evo chamber, but that would be a silly spot to do that.
Yeah, there's not really any benefit to doing that.
I mean, you know, this has actually been a pretty good play against Protoss with Zerg. Is fairly common to interrupt the standard Protoss plays to put that hatchery at the natural expansion and then just expand as normal behind it. And it hasn't really seemed to impact the Zergs a whole lot in the economy-wise, but curious to see if Winter's going to let this finish. I highly doubt it. I mean, really right now it's just keeping the Reaper and Marine at home.
And it's forcing Triforks to make Marines instead of the Reaper that he wanted to be making.
That's true. Reapers do not have the grenades anymore, but I think that Winter's going to let this finish.
It does look that way, and now the units are jumping into that bunker.
Yeah, but now there's some Zerglings harassing the SCV down here, but it does get the command center finished. But they are going to try and run at the ramp, but those supply depots are covering that exit. Going to surround an SCV, take that out.
And he is producing a roach in the base of Triforks from one of those larvae.
It really is going to just try and deflect some of the damage from this bunker so this queen is able to get out, I think.
And 2 drones, it looks like he canceled those. He didn't actually mean to make those where he did. It's possible that the roach, he didn't actually mean to do that either.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, he's kind of running it around like, oh, I guess I'll scout.
Yeah, but the broodlings are going to pop out of this hatchery, going to surround one Marine and take it out, possibly get 2 Marines.
Oh, yeah. You know, he unloaded to kill that roach, but ended up losing a few Marines because of
quite a bit of damage. Lings here forced the command center at the natural expansion to lift off. So, I mean, above all, this is really messing with Triforks' head.
Oh, absolutely. But it looks like he's staying fairly level-headed about it. You know, he's going about business as usual. Sure, he's lost some things, but you know, at the end of the day, Winter is behind in resources lost. You can't lose a full hatchery and get away with that unscathed.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he let that finish, besides just...
Well, you get the broodlings. You know, they can do some damage if your opponent isn't careful about how they engage those.
Definitely not 300 minerals worth of damage.
Well, not in that situation, no.
Yeah. So we'll see how he does follow out of this. He does have 1 larva left, as you all know. Larvae do have a hard time living off of creep. Or poor, sad larva. But the expansion is happily mining here with mules for Triforks. He does have a mine at the ramp.
And Winter's doing some other new strategies in that he's getting a Nidus network at his natural. He does have that layer down, and so he's going to be trying to get back in. He does have the Overlord, and he's turning it into an Overseer, so he's going to be able to put that Nidus basically where he put that hatchery down to begin with. But there is an SCV looking for a third base, isn't going to find one. Potentially could get in there and see that Nidus, but there are a lot of units there. The Queen may even just deny it in it because that SCV is very low health.
Really doesn't have a lot of units in here. I mean, he's putting the Lings and the Queens in, so he's going to pop this Nidus out, put down some creep tumors, and then just see what he can do here. But
and Triforks sees it right away. There's a Marine there. He knows what's happening, pulling SCVs, trying to get... it looks like he's not really moving anything else, though.
He does have a tank here right down by the ramp, but Nidus does not have a lot of health, and he is going to get it down before 1 Zergling comes out. So only 1 Zergling out of that Nidus, and he's going to put a supply depot down here so he can maintain vision.
And well played there by Triforks.
Another Nidus trying to come down at the natural, but there are some Marines there. They're able to take that out, so Triforks really shutting that down. It seems like Winter kind of goofing around here a little bit almost, and Triforks has got his number, and you know, he could be starting to get ahead.
Well, you know, when you're up 2 games in a best of 7, you kind of have the freedom to do that. And, you know, this one looks like it's actually going to be able to get some things out.
This one is going to pop out, but there is a mine right there, which he has to target that down, or that's going to be trouble. He does not get it. But the mine kills a couple SCVs there. All the things popping out of the Nidus now, and GG. So
a little bit of a quirkier game than we're used to seeing thus far today.
Winter pulled out all the stops in that one.
You know, he did. He definitely did something very different, you know, and I liked that he was going back and forth with those Nidus networks. He was putting them in different places, and then, you know, he moves his observer over just a tiny little bit, doesn't put the Nidus network in the exact same spot, just out of vision from that supply depot that went down. And, of course, you know, it looks like Triforks just wasn't able to spot that, was doing too many things at once, and unfortunately wasn't able to get it on time. And, of course, all those units come bursting in, and when they're behind your wall, it's hard to take care of it at that point.
You know, and it's so hard to just, you know, this has happened to everybody on the map when someone does just something out of the ordinary and goofy. You know, it's fun to watch from our perspective, but when you're playing and you're in the state of mind, you have the builds in your head you want to do, I mean, it just totally screws you up.
Absolutely.
So it looks like we're going to be going into Frost. We're going to take a very brief break here as we get this set up, so we'll be back in about 30 seconds.